Welcome to Future Talk. On today's program, we're going to look at the Tech Museum. Located in the heart of Silicon Valley in San Jose, California, the Tech Museum tries to capture the spirit of Silicon Valley. It's filled with exhibits that seek to inspire people of all ages to learn about science and to use that knowledge to make the world a better place. A bit later, we'll have some videos from the Tech, but now I'd like to introduce my special guest, Bridget Rigby. Bridget has a degree in the history and philosophy of science and mathematics from Stanford University. She spent 4 years leading technology-based after-school learning centers, and she spent 6 years with Tech Museum summer camps and Galileo camps where children are taught to think like innovators. She currently serves as Director of Learning at the Tech Museum. Bridget, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Marty. I'm happy to be here.
You have a very interesting title, Director of Learning. What exactly does that mean?
Well, at the Tech Museum, we focus on learning for both kids and grown-ups, so that means I really get to have my hands in almost every aspect of the museum. So on the exhibit development side, I work with the content team and get to help define the learning outcomes of all of our exhibits as we develop them. I also get to have my hands in our year-round educational programs for kids. So these start with the school year experience where kids come in with their teachers, our after-school programs. We go into summer camps and our annual design challenge competition, the Tech Challenge.
Now, what's the Tech Challenge all about? That's a contest for kids?
It's a design challenge competition that happens once a year where we have kids focus on solving a real-world problem. So this past year, we just had this in April, we focused on we called it Trash Island, the Great Pacific Gyre. So there's this mass of plastic bits floating in the ocean that's harming sea life out in the Pacific. And we wanted kids to really start to look at this problem and see that they could help find a solution. So we created this Tech Challenge rig that represented the actual ocean, and then kids designed basically engineering contraptions. They went through the entire design challenge approach where they designed, they built, they tested, they prototyped, they got feedback until their designs were ready for the big day where all of these kids came into the Tech, filled it up. It was just a day of design revelry, and they took their contraptions and put it up against the rig.
I think we have a couple of pictures of kids being in a state of revelry, if you will. Do we have those pictures? There's one right there. He looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, so these kids are in their revelry during actually at the museum in their school year labs and summer camp programs, and I think we'll also have some pictures of the actual challenge day in a little bit.
Now, do the kids put in a lot of commitment to this? Does this require a lot of time on their part?
For the Tech Challenge, yes. So these teams are serious about the design process. They come in, there's a group of up to 6 kids, and they have an advisor that works with them over a many-month period. So we have our challenge at the end of April. It is kicked off at the beginning of October. So in the fall, they can start designing towards their solution. Typically, the teams kind of come together. They start designing at least over a couple-month period, and it's really up to each team. They meet weekly. It's up to how they want to handle it.
Now, do you have any kind of science of learning? Do you have an approach that maybe you wouldn't find so much in a public school classroom? I mean, is this part of what the Tech offers, that you have a method of teaching that people absorb very easily?
Yes, we have a very unique approach to learning that is both playful and profound. The kids get to come up with their own unique solutions to science and engineering challenges that we present. So like the challenge at the Great Pacific Gyre, the Tech Challenge, or in our school year labs, for example, we have one fabulous lab that's very popular called Mind Over Machine, where the kids get to design and build their own roller coaster contraptions. And they get to get very creative, very innovative. We give them a defined goal. We say, the lab instructor may say, the goal is to get this marble in the cup. So they get a marble, a cup, they get long insulation tubing cut in half that can be the pathway, and that they can twist and turn however they want, and they get a set of Tinker Toys, some masking tape, and then they go crazy. We give them some time constraints, and they just get in there, they build, they test, they find out what works, and they find out what doesn't work. And along the way, they're really discovering the laws of physics. They're learning about potential and kinetic energy, and they're really getting an intuitive sense of the mathematics at play.
Do you start with kids who are already science-oriented, or do you start with kids who maybe don't have that background and they're really starting from nothing and you're introducing them into a whole new world that they hadn't been involved in before?
You know, both. We have kids that come to our school year labs, so with their teacher they come on a field trip. Many that never have gotten to engage in any sort of science design challenge like this. These days, science is not getting the funding in schools that it once got, so a lot of these kids don't even get to do science in school. And throughout the school year, we have about, I think it's about 1,200 labs, different classrooms that come in, and 60% of those are Title I students. So they get to all come to our labs for free, and we have, really on either end of the spectrum, we also have the kids that are really, really, really into science and who love it and whose parents are engineers and design and tinker with them all the time in the garage.
Oh, sounds great.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go on to the first video from the Tech Museum. We're going to have an interview with the Vice President of Content Development at the Tech, Elena Connor. So let's go ahead and roll that tape.